last break I had was the kind that had me seeing double for a short stack of lumen cycles. Next time I'm after that kind of fun, I'll stick with a full flask of Amasec and skip the chin music from the goons down at the den. But what can I say? Hard to avoid attention when you get invited to all the loudest parties. The name's Griff Stubber. Fixer for hire. The uphiver strolled in as if he owned the place. He could if he cared to waste the credits. Said a royal kid slipped under Hive, maybe looking for a thrill. Family wants him found. Quickly. Quietly. The kid must have been important. Maybe an heir, or a threat to one. For a fee that size, I could split it with Harlow and still cover Hab debt for a full rotation. He was the best Vinny the Hive had ever seen before the incident. These days, he's better at finding the bottom of a bottle, but he still has a better network of informants than I could muster. We shook the ladders, trawled the tunnels. Someone's seen him. Even when royals try to blend, they stick out like scabs on a scabby. Still, it was hard getting people to squawk. Some bottled up, some bottled out. Snitching won't win you any friends, but this deep in the Hive, there's really no such thing. Old Reliable caught a whiff of Spire from a lead in the Medicaid district. Heard he was running with Ravencroft. Thurl Ravencroft. I shuddered to think about half the rumors I'd heard about that maniac. His skill as a gene splicer was only matched by his propensity to experiment on live subjects. If the kid was with Thurl, I'm guessing he was looking to up his chances of being next in line back home with some off-brand gene enhancements. But more likely, he'd end up sawboned and lobo-chipped as Thurl's prized med servitor. Me and Harlow discussed our options. In order to turn these whispers in the wind into credits in my stash, I had to find this blue-blooded brat. And fast. So I sent Harlow to rub shoulders with a gang who'd take every chance they got to mingle with the purebred and pedigreed. The bigwigs. Yeah, they were House Goliath, but they did just about everything they could to shake that image. Enough powder in those curls to choke out a shambler on full stem surge. But don't let them fool ya. These dandies could scrap. We could use them. Harlow tipped off the bigwigs that our quarry was running with the good doctor, and the stage was set. We had to be careful. Thurl, along with his spliced-up aberrants and brainwashed bozos, would be couched in the shadows, keen to move the uphiver through the byways unnoticed. Whatever salvaged and stolen gear the Stooges had would be put to good use. Crafty bastards. High ground and full auto heaters made for a real shooting gallery. The bruisers on the receiving end beat feet and looked good doing it. Skipping the kill box left the wigs toe-to-toe with the doc's skin jobs. Real peaches, all of them. Smelled like the business end of a sump-bound sludge rat and looked even worse. But up and close, those powdered dandies can cut a rug. Who said a little pageantry can't mix with a blast of hot lead to the noggin? Any beast the doc made with a scalpel could be unmade with the liberal application of a renderizer, and the wigs had a prescription, with extra refills. Just as I thought the doc's goons were about to take the bounce, the quack decided to make his rounds in person. Let's just say he didn't carry a stethoscope, and the procedure he was planning would have Helmar himself begging for euthanasia. The brat looked relieved to see a familiar face. Then a sneer twisted his finely powdered features. He began barking orders at his father's emissary, said he'd be his servant soon enough. Harlow shot me a glance, fingered his earpiece, and looked back at the kid. Following his lead, I eyeballed the fresh punctures behind his ear and the evil green seeping under his skin. Whatever augments he bought were going to mean big trouble upstairs. I made a big show about settling the bill so the agent and I could speak alone. He stood still as the statues around the old sanctum. His first duty was to protect the royal family at any cost. We had to put the kid on ice until the nobles could decide what to do.